Hello and welcome to Short End of the Pick with Richard and Kurt. We're back at it again this week, and we've got some really good picks. It was incredible. It was actually last night, the Super Bowl 54, and my goodness, what a good week for picks. We've also got Iowa Caucuses happening today, actually, and coronavirus update. Still in the news. We've got Super Bowl to talk about, English Premier League, we've got the Australian Open, and we've also got the stock market. We're going to hit a lot of topics today, Richard. What do you think?
I'm pretty excited about this week. We've got a lot of stuff to talk about from last week. I think that's going to be kind of the highlight, obviously. We had our first Premier Open where we had talked about the Super Bowl, and we got to put in our pretty big picks there. I think some interesting stuff definitely coming up right now.
Yeah, and I mean, there's a lot of stuff we talked about last week. Coronavirus. We talked about the Super Bowl. We talked about Kobe. Mm-hmm. And some of that stuff's going to come up again this week and sort of a look backward.
Yeah. I mean, this was a big, coming into this weekend, I knew there was going to be a lot of stuff going on. So, and then coming out of it kind of a little bit softer. So it'll be really exciting to see how we did on our premier picks. See what we did right, see what we did wrong. And then probably lose a bunch of viewers because we had no idea what we were talking about.
It definitely is like a review kind of week because we were looking at the news, we were looking at sports. There's not a ton going on coming up in the next week. But a lot just happened, and we've got to talk about it, right?
Yeah. I mean, I'm excited. I'm almost more excited to look back and see how I did than to have to come up with something really quickly without having had necessarily gotten used to it yet. So we'll see how it goes first.
Well, what's going on? What's been going on in your life in the last week?
Not
Anything
much.
Interesting?
I mean, Super Bowl, like you said. So I had a good time. I actually hosted my girlfriend's mother this weekend.
Oh, that's gotta be fun.
It was actually. We did a lot of fun stuff. We went out and partied a little bit. And I found out that I make a mad good guacamole.
Yeah, you told me about this. What's the? Are you gonna tell everyone your secret ingredient?
The secret ingredient is.
I mean, you don't have to.
Love, obviously.
So that's a no.
No secret ingredient. I just went for it. But I think
guac is pretty hard to get bad.
Yeah.
Because guac is just, if you have avocados, it's gonna be good.
Yeah, a lot of times I'll oversalt it or something like that. But I put the right amount of spiciness. I put a whole Roma tomato, a whole jalapeno pepper, a decent chunk of white onion, a couple of green onions.
That'd probably be too spicy for me.
No. I'm telling you, I didn't put a lot of the seeds from the jalapeno, so it wasn't that bad. But how about you? What'd you do this weekend?
Well, I mean, Super Bowl, obviously.
Yeah, that's a good.
Nothing that big. I mean, one thing happened to me. I got a letter in the mail today.
Uh-oh.
This is just an interesting story.
Eviction notice.
That's what I thought at first. No, it was from a mayoral candidate. Mayoral? Something like that. A guy running for mayor.
Yeah. And
he obviously wanted me to vote for him. He's got all his credentials or whatever, what he wants to accomplish. And one of the things he put on there was, we need to get these we need to stop the proliferation of renters in our town, this town I'm in.
Wait a minute. Yeah. Aren't we in an apartment right now?
Yeah, I'm a renter. So he's trying to get my vote. He's handing me a flyer saying, you are the problem. We need to get you out of here.
So it was an eviction notice.
Of sorts. So I guess we know who I'm not voting for.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think the election's in April or something. I don't know. Yeah. Anyway, I also have a ton of hot dog buns left over from the Super Bowl.
Oh, yeah?
I was in charge of hot dogs.
Carbohydrates for a month.
Yeah. I must have eaten Eaten?
Eaten
is not
probably
a word.
Some sort of...
Ate. I must have ate.
Eaten.
Ate.
No. Eaten. You can say. You can't
eaten.
say eaten.
Yeah. I must have eaten 6 hot dog buns at least today at work. But anyway, that's gonna be my snack. Just when you're just hungry, a little downtime. Hot dog
bread.
Bun. Yeah. Potato rolls.
No peanut butter, no jam, nothing. Bread.
All right, man. All right. Well, let's get into Bing News of the Week. No.
Yeah, let's go for it.
What do we got today?
Obviously, we are going to have to start off with Iowa Caucuses. I think that's where we should start because that's new and it's happening today. For those not familiar, Iowa is the first caucus state for the
It's the first state in the nominations for presidential candidates.
Yeah, they're called it's the primary process. Yeah, I couldn't think of it.
Out of all the states, so it's just interesting. The Democrats obviously. I don't think there's anything happening on the Republican side. Although there was some rumors that someone would challenge Trump or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know necessarily about that, but they're supposed to be getting results, and by the end of the day, I mean, this is so early in the election process that it's like it's hopefully to set a tone for some campaigns.
This is officially the beginning of the voting that leads up. I mean, this is kind of a big deal because it is 2020. We're in the year now, and people are starting to actually make votes that are going to matter.
Yeah, I mean, it's a big deal in the sense that this is just kicking off everything. But I wouldn't lean too much into read too much into this.
Yeah.
Only because there's already a couple of clear favorites. I think that this is an opportunity for some to stand out that haven't necessarily stood out thus far, or an opportunity for someone that is a pretty prominent individual in the party to just explode out and try and take a really big lead right off the bat. They're not necessarily, the results aren't necessarily going to determine what's going to happen in the end. I mean, there's so much to go in voting season.
Well, so. I mean, we are recording this on Monday, which is the night of the Iowa Caucuses. We're looking. I mean, I don't see any reporting anything in yet.
Yeah, I'm not getting any.
So I think
I am seeing Republican with 20% of precincts.
Okay, so they are doing something official.
Has Trump leading.
That's not going to end up mattering, I don't think.
In the end, okay. Yeah, leading by a lot, too. He's running against Joe Walsh and Bill Weld. I mean, he's the incumbent president.
This is just kind of a mockery.
Yeah, it's more of just like a...
You're not going to get delegates. All the delegates in the states are going to...
Yeah, it's like a formality. It's like you do it because that's what you have to do. But everyone knows.
Well, I don't see anything for the Democrats yet. I mean,
there's lots of time.
How about this? What's your prediction for, let's say, your top 2 or 3 candidates that are going to come out with delegates at the end of the night? Analytically speaking, I mean, we're not commenting on the politics or anything.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't.
Just your prediction.
Yeah.
We got basically Biden, Sanders, maybe, I don't know.
Elizabeth Warren, maybe.
Michael Warren, Buttigieg.
Yeah, I'm thinking Bernie Sanders, Joe Biden. This will be their standout moment, hopefully, for one of them too, if they can, get it going, get the ball rolling kind of early.
I know you were leaning towards Sanders to win the majority, or not the majority, the plurality of delegates.
Yeah, I think that's going to happen. That would be my official pick. Would be if
that's
if
what
I
most
had to
people
pick
are saying.
Top overall would be would be Bernie Sanders. Excuse me. But yeah, that's just based on what the polling is saying. So I'm not making any new predictions here.
I mean, I think I picked him to win by 2 delegates, which is not going to mean anything in the long term. It's going to be a drop in the bucket. Yes, it will give him some momentum because if he technically beats Biden, then he technically beats Biden and maybe gets more headlines, more publicity.
That's true.
But
yeah.
Anyway,
I mean, I think maybe Bloomberg is trying to make a statement here. He's had a lot of ads out, so keep an eye on him. I wouldn't be surprised if something. I would be surprised, I guess, but look out for Pete Buttigieg. I would say if he's going to make a statement, this is his opportunity. This is him in the Midwest.
Midwest, yeah. Same with Klobuchar. She might not have a chance in the whole scheme of things, but here in Iowa, she could get a few delegates. Who knows?
I don't see why not.
But okay, let's move on to coronavirus.
Yeah. So there's a little bit of updates going on. A lot still going on in China. I don't have the numbers necessarily on China right now, but in America we've got a handful more cases, mostly in New York and a couple in California. But I'm reading.
New York City has a confirmed case.
A couple of confirmed cases. Excuse me. Wow. So reading from NBC New York. 3 people in New York City were tested for coronavirus after recent trips from the mainland China. Health
they tested or they were found they had it?
I think that, here, all 3 patients presented with fever and cough, shortness of breath, whoa, and influenza-like. I think that they ended up, I want to say that they ended up. I think I saw somewhere that they ended up confirming it, but I'm not 100% sure. I'm not gonna speculate on that too much. Yeah. But China is still.
I heard that they have a hospital up.
Yeah, I think they finally got it up, but they are officially, according to this Market Watch article from an hour ago, headlined China coronavirus cases now top 20,000 in just China, with 425 dead. And China death toll is greater than the SARS outbreak. So this is officially a more prevalent or more deadly pathogen outbreak.
20,000 cases. I mean, I think it didn't even eclipse 10,000 with the SARS.
You mean total infections?
Yeah, total. Isn't that what it is? Like total confirmed.
Yeah. Total confirmed.
Persons. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, maybe. I don't know.
That's crazy.
I mean, it's just still prevalent. It's in the news still, and it's going to have an impact on what we'll talk about later, the economy as well.
Yeah, stock market and stuff.
I have some stuff to talk about that too, but I don't want to.
Okay, well, what do you think about your last week's prediction? I mean, I think I asked you last week. Did you think it's going to be over by next week? And I think you said something like, "Yeah, it'll be gone."
I said I think by the end of this week, which we broadcasted last week Monday. I said by the end of this week, it's gonna be pretty much all but it's all quieted out. I will say the news cycle isn't necessarily blasting this out on its loudspeakers anymore.
It is getting quiet,
but
slightly.
It is still just. I mean, it's just as prevalent as it was a week ago.
How about this? Do you think we're over the hump, as in the impacts have been seen and we're on the tail end of it, as in it'll still be big, but we're winding down from it now?
Yeah, certainly. I think that's where we are. The thing is, in China, it's like the more a lot of people are going to get it. You got to understand that this is like basically getting the flu, except in a different, it's like a different pathogen, a different chemical makeup or something like that. So it's not like it's getting Ebola or something, which have really high death rates, and if you get it, you're pretty much dead. It's just about having the right resources to be able to, if someone does get it, make sure they stay hydrated and are quarantined and are able to be cared for. But,
interesting. Okay.
So I think the hump. I think I can say that we're pretty much over the hump.
The peak. Yeah.
As far as like tertiary impact is concerned.
Okay. Well, let's move on to our funny story of the week from Bing News. This one we could not pass up on.
Oh my gosh.
I'm just gonna read the headline. I guess the headline's not as funny as the pictures are. We have to listen to it. So,
we'll definitely read the headline anyway.
So Philadelphia Flyers mascot cleared of claim that he punched teenage fan. Or wait, what?
I don't know. That's still kind of funny. It says Philadelphia Flyers mascot Gritty. His name's Gritty, which
just as soon as you hear his name is Gritty, you're already starting to question things.
Name your mascot something better than Gritty. Come on, man. Cleared of wrongdoing after being accused of assault.
Yeah, for punching some kid.
He was accused of assaulting a 13-year-old boy. Determined the actions of the individual portraying the Flyers mascot did not constitute physical assault as alleged.
So like the DA dropped the charge or whatever.
Yeah.
It's funny.
Resulted in a $300 hospital bill, though.
I wonder if this doesn't happen more often. Like fans trying to get some cash from some settlement from the thing. Like
maybe.
The mascot's always out there wiling out. You know what I mean?
That's what they do. But I'll tell you, if there was a mascot wiling out, it's this mascot.
This guy. You gotta look this up, dude. Flyers Gritty.
Look up Flyers Gritty. Flyers mascot Gritty. This guy looks like he looks like a Sesame Street character on crack. What's the garbage guy's name again?
It's Grover.
Grover? No, Grover's the blue one.
Oh, it's no. Grover's
Oscar
Grover's
the Grouch. It looks like Oscar the Grouch, orange on crack. I mean, like,
it is.
Open that picture. Open that picture again.
Oh, this one.
Yeah, dude, this.
Dude, his eyeballs are popping out at you, man.
Oh my goodness.
He's Oscar the Grouch with a beard and on some sort of controlled substance. Substance.
Yeah, oh my gosh, that is a glare that could. Oh my gosh.
And what is he wearing? I guess a hockey helmet.
Yeah, hockey helmet. Yeah, he's the hockey.
All right. Well, that's our funny story for today. Yeah. So he's all good to go.
Go look at a picture of this guy and get a good laugh.
Okay, so let's move on to this week in sports.
This week in sports.
What do we got?
What do you mean? What do we got?
I'm asking like I'm curious or something.
Oh, by the way, wait. Did something happen yesterday?
So
I heard some fireworks were going. Actually, this is a true story. I heard that they were shooting off fireworks in Kansas City, and they could see them on the radar for the weather. They could see them on the weather radar. All the
weather
smoke,
radar.
All the smoke that was coming up. It said that it was raining because of how many fireworks they were shooting off.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they're going.
I thought you were going to say they could
there.
see it from space or something like that.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Probably could as explosions. Anyway.
So, okay. Initial thoughts.
Initial thoughts.
By the way, just to recap, the Chiefs won the Super Bowl 31-20.
Yeah, 31-20. Chiefs won.
And at one point in the game, this is probably the biggest note of the game, the 49ers were up 20-10. So they had a 10-point lead in the fourth quarter, and the Chiefs came back in the fourth quarter, scored thrice, and won 31-20.
That's certainly the most notable as far as the scoring is concerned.
Yeah.
That thing that happened. That they had a 10-point lead and then ended up losing.
Look at
by
this summary right there. Fourth quarter, 0 points for 49ers, 21 points for Chiefs. That's the game.
And what this doesn't even show was that most of those points ended up being towards the end of the fourth quarter anyway. You look back at the scoring summary, their first touchdown to come within 3, so it was to bring the score to 20-17, was with 6 minutes left in the game. And so it's still a tight game, but I mean, you have control.
Momentum was everything.
So you have your San Francisco. You have to have control of this game, and then it just kind of fell apart.
Yeah.
So initial thoughts, like you were asking me.
Yep.
Maybe a little bit disappointed in the 49ers. Excited that it was still a pretty close game, though. I mean, this game went right down to the fourth quarter. I was able to watch it feeling excited the entire time, like not knowing necessarily that the result was going to be locked in right up until the end. You know, there's been Super Bowls in the past where 3 plays in, you're like, okay, that's the game.
Yeah.
You don't even have to make it to halftime, and you know what the result's going to be.
Absolutely. I mean, this was in the back of your mind the whole game. You're thinking, yeah. I guess in the middle portion of the game when San Francisco really took control, you were in the back of your mind thinking only 10 points. Mm-hmm. Patrick Mahomes can come back from that any day of the week.
Oh yeah.
You know, so you really didn't think, even when they were down 10 late in the game, kind of, you didn't think that this game was over. You may have thought statistically it was likely that 49ers would win, but you're not playing any old team here with Patrick Mahomes. Mm-hmm. And that's exactly what happened. He just came pouring back into the game, you know, with the offense out of this world.
Yeah. I mean, even after he had already thrown at that point, I believe 2 interceptions. He had fumbled the ball that he'd recovered from it.
Yeah.
I mean,
he was not sharp.
Yeah.
Until the fourth quarter.
In my mind, I was thinking when I was watching that game, I was thinking he's shaking right now. Like there's something wrong. He's not doing well. He's already fumbled the ball once. Luckily recovered it, and he's thrown a couple interceptions. There's no way the 49ers could let this get out of hand. And of course, it's Patrick Mahomes. So watch him throw a couple of touchdowns right at the end a couple of touchdowns at the end of the game there to bring them into the lead.
Yeah, I mean,
he ran one in too.
The thing is, all credit to the Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes, but at the same time, I feel like everyone knew Patrick Mahomes could do that. He only did what he was expected to do, which may be unfair because he set the bar so high for himself. Mm-hmm. I do feel like this is a letdown for the 49ers. Like, they dropped the ball figuratively and literally, depending on how you look at it. They were the ones that kind of gave it away a little bit there. You know, they made some decisions and they just didn't execute in the fourth quarter to close it out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I could have seen that going a lot of different ways, but I don't know that I would have necessarily thought that I was going to be as saddened by how San Francisco ended up performing at the end of the game there. But
didn't both of us pick the 49ers to win last week?
I did. I think I ended up saying 49ers by 3. I don't know. What'd you end up picking? Yeah, I'm looking at it now. 49ers by 3.
I said,
my official thought pick was 31-24 was my official, non-official pick of the score.
Your official non-official?
Yeah, my official non-official.
That was pretty close.
My official was win by 3, which was dead wrong.
Oh, for Dick's picks.
Yeah, for Dick's picks. But then my official non-official,
You're
something
on
I
the
did
side.
on the side that I was like, if something's going to happen that I'm not ready for, it's going to be this, 31-24. But I was still thinking 49ers.
Oh, it says Chiefs right there, though.
Yeah, but that's just because I needed to know who was playing who.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. So you were 49ers all the way.
Yeah.
I was 49ers by 6 in Captain's Log last week. Right before kickoff, I said 49ers by 5. I dropped it down. I had I put a lot of effort into it on Sunday, Saturday to come up with to be sure of that pick, and it just did not pan out.
Yeah, I mean,
It panned out for 3 quarters.
Yeah, I mean, Even Las Vegas didn't necessarily know which direction it was going to go. Granted, give them the benefit of the doubt. The odds were saying Kansas City in the end, so they did get it.
They were on point because everything I was looking at numbers wise, everyone I read and everyone I looked at who had the analytics were saying Kansas City. Mm-hmm. But the numbers that I personally had and was looking at were all pointing to 49ers. And so whoever's doing the analytics that's smarter than me, kudos, because they really nailed it.
Yeah, I mean, you've also only been doing – you did the one game? I don't think you've been doing any
NFL
I
really need to get
year.
on my NFL horse. But
yeah.
I mean, I'll just say Kyle Shanahan, that's his name, right? Coach?
Yeah.
Calling the offense, calling the plays. I'm really shocked. They're up by 10. The 49ers have the ball, and they're throwing on second down. Wow. And it's the same thing with the Falcons and the Patriots. He was the offensive coordinator for the Falcons when the collapse happened. I don't know if that's called. What would you call that? The game, the Falcons collapse.
Yeah.
So Shanahan was the guy calling plays in that game where they threw it 3 times in a row, and that's the only reason the Patriots were able to come back. Mm-hmm. It's just some of the same play calling stuff. Like you're too confident in your quarterback. I don't know, but anyway.
Yeah. Apparently, this is the first time since 2015 that they had market growth in viewership for the thing. That's just in a little aside.
That was,
I just see the story right now. 99.9 million viewers. Holy moly.
Yeah, it was declining over the last few years, and it's one of those things where how far could it possibly decline,
Before it finally just bounced back up a little bit. Yeah.
I don't know if the halftime show brought people in.
I watch every year, so I've been that number for the last
Yeah. Okay, well, anyway,
years.
I mean, I don't know what else to say. We were wrong. That's number one.
Number one, yeah, we were wrong. But
Vegas was right, and Patrick Mahomes is a beast.
Probably a bit bigger of a lead than most people would have thought.
How about this question? Yeah, obviously, once, and a lot of that was garbage time points. Like the real margin of victory was 4. Mm-hmm. The Chiefs won by 4, and then they put up a score at the end, just kind of a garbage time score. But how about this question for looking forward? Is this the beginning of a Chiefs dynasty? Like, how many rings is Patrick Mahomes going to win?
That's a really good question, because I don't.
And Andy Reid.
Yeah. I don't want to go in saying no just because I think that it. I don't know. I don't know. I just don't know. I have to say no.
What's in your heart?
In my heart, I say no.
This is not the beginning of a dynasty.
No, I think that there's a lot on this team that's good. I think that there's a lot on a lot of other teams that are good too. And so, I don't think that they're just some sort of ridiculously dominant team that's going to come out here like the Patriots had done.
I think to have a true dynasty, you need and I don't want to say this as an insult or a slight, okay? Mm-hmm. But prep yourself for this. I think you need a truly all-time great level coach. And it hurts to say that because Andy Reid kind of is, but also this is his first Super Bowl in how many years of coaching? Yeah. So it's like, he's a good coach at getting to the playoffs and winning games, and playing a style of football that's going to win enough to get to the playoffs. But you need a really, truly great coach. And when I say great, I mean like when you think of him, you think of best all time. Mm-hmm. And so I don't know if Andy Reid I think to have a true dynasty, you almost need that. I mean, how many dynasties have we had besides the Patriots?
I was going to say
since 2000.
It's not been a lot.
Really? I mean,
certainly not since 2000.
Who has won more than one ring? The Steelers? They won
Giants?
2, maybe 3
Didn't the
since
Giants win
2000. Yeah, the Giants won 2 rings.
No,
but what is a dynasty?
Yeah,
that's more. You got to win more than 2 rings to be a dynasty, right?
Yeah, I just don't think that. And that's why I want to say no. But Patrick Mahomes is just that kind of quarterback right now. He just looks really good.
Yeah.
So
but how many times have we said that before for a young, mobile, looks like he's really talented kind of quarterback? Mm-hmm. It does take more than that.
Yeah.
It ends up taking more than that. Mm-hmm. So there's really no way to. I don't want to say there's no way to tell. He is great. He's going to have numbers out of this world.
Oh yeah, for sure. He already does.
It's just a matter of that. Can you, as one player, carry your team to the Super Bowl like Tom Brady has?
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's a tough question, but like I said, only time will tell, I guess. But congratulations to the Kansas City Chiefs.
Absolutely.
And
it was a long-awaited win for them.
Congratulations to us for nailing it on the head.
not. Okay, so we got to move to English Premier League soccer.
Yeah.
Not a lot going on this week because they split the games across like 2 different weeks, I think.
Yeah,
I don't know if
looks
it's
like
FA
there's
Cup stuff going on or.
Looks like they have a lot going. It's going over a couple of weeks, but yeah, maybe
So
FA Cup
we have
stuff,
4.
maybe.
We have 4 games in the next week, right?
Mm-hmm.
4 matches.
Yeah, Everton, Crystal Palace, Brighton and Watford, Sheffield and Bournemouth, and then Man City and West Ham.
West Ham. Dude, Sheffield is ridiculous. Sheffield is now above Manchester United because they won their last match. They're just winning by 1 goal every game. You know, like
just slowly but surely, like the tortoise that could, or whatever that story is.
Let me just pull up the table real quick.
But I'm thinking.
This is a promoted team, by the way.
Yeah. Oh, they are. They're Sheffield.
Yes.
Is not really.
Yes, they were promoted this year, and they're 6th in the league. They're above Manchester United, above Arsenal, above Wolves. They're sitting 1 point below Tottenham to get to the 5th spot, which would be up Europa League, by the way.
Okay.
So
good job.
I don't know, man. I mean, look, okay, so let's zoom out. Okay, English Premier League. We don't have that many games this week.
No.
Let's look at what happened last week.
Yeah. I was going to say, then we can compare to what the standings, because we did a lot of talk about how that's going to shift the standings, and we can see how that actually impacted.
There were 3 big games, and they were our games that we picked.
Yeah.
So we'll go over the picks, but like Leicester drew Chelsea, which was kind of a nothing burger, because besides the fact that Chelsea would want to have picked up more points.
They need points.
But I think if you're Chelsea at Leicester, you're happy to pick up 1 point.
Yeah,
You're happy to
that's
draw
not
that
bad.
game.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a lot better than, if you had lost that game, that would have been expected.
That would have been rough.
And now Tottenham's breathing down your neck, which they still are. But okay, Manchester United drew Wolves, scoreless draw at home.
Yeah, that's pretty
weird.
Which
is just it's another nothing burger. Besides the fact that Sheffield crept above both of those teams. Both of those teams were sitting in 5th, like basically tied for 5th.
That's wild.
Now Tottenham jumped in there because Tottenham beat Manchester City.
That was a big win for Tottenham, I think.
I mean, City looked pretty miserable that game. I mean, Raheem Sterling had a circus game of errors, and then the red card, and City's passing was not on point. But Tottenham took advantage. Give them credit.
Yeah, give them credit where credit is due. They definitely did. I only got to watch a little bit of that game, but kudos to them for winning a game that I had said
City was going to win by 2.
City was going to win by 2.
Yeah, and I had picked City by 1. So I don't know if that means I won that.
It means
pick.
you won that. But if you inverted mine, then we were in the right spot. I don't know, man. That Tottenham at home, that's pretty weird.
They do a lot better at home than they do away.
Yeah, I had actually picked the Man U Wolves draw.
Yeah, you did.
Which the only reason I thought Man U Wolves draw was because I thought they were going to draw 1-1. To be perfectly honest,
yeah.
A 0-0 draw to go
weird.
the whole time scoreless. That's just uncharacteristic.
For Manchester United to go scoreless at home, it's like, I don't know, it just doesn't feel right.
Yeah, and I think, like you said, everyone was expecting Leicester to probably pull out the win at home. So draw isn't the worst thing that could have happened to them. But I had Leicester by 1 for that game.
Yeah, I think that this was definitely a win for Chelsea in a way. I mean, to go to Leicester and score 2 goals against a extremely good defense and to pull a point so that now you're 4 ahead of Tottenham instead of 3. I mean, that's a big difference.
Yeah.
So I guess
Certainly a big difference.
Also talk about the transfer deadline news in Europe football.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
Had a few big ones. Right off the top, I'm thinking Spurs signed Steven Bergwijn, I think is how you say his name. I think he's a Dutch player. He came from PSV in the Dutch league.
Okay.
Really good young talent. I think he's 22 years old.
Didn't he just play this last game for them?
He scored the go-ahead goal in
Wow.
the Spurs match against Manchester City. So it was a wonderful game for him. First game on the team, and he,
definitely good for them.
He's a really good young talent. I mean, I've heard he's not someone that's going to make a huge impact now, but looking forward to the future. They just lost Eriksen, so they're looking for Lo Celso to step up. They're looking for young players to kind of recrop that system with Jose Mourinho. So also Borussia Dortmund signed Erling Haaland, who has also been talked about as a very, I don't know if you call this a phenom or something like that, wonderkind or something. Really good young talent. And Manchester United signed Bruno Fernandes, who is a really good Portuguese player that the Spurs were looking at, United was looking at in the summer. He's also a really good talent. He was involved in a lot of goals in the Portuguese league last year.
Mm-hmm.
I forget exactly what.
From Sporting Lisbon.
Lisbon, yeah.
Yeah.
So that should be a big impact for them. They really need some help. I mean, to push them into the top, because right now they're slipping a little bit. I don't know. Okay, so that was, so the transfer deadline happened. Actually, it was a pretty quiet year.
Yeah.
But those were some of the big major signings.
Some stuff to peek at. Nothing too outrageous, but
I just want to
hopefully that shakes up that center of the league, the center of the table. That speaking of which, let's look at what the standings are now that we know what we said before. We said that this was going to be pretty impactful for a lot of these teams. I think Tottenham moved up a couple of spots. Sheffield too. They picked up because Man U, like you said, Man U Wolves draw, kind of held them in their spot. At least they didn't pull up an L, but now they're
a draw doesn't do much, but a loss win for either of those teams would have been huge.
Yeah.
But it didn't end up happening. So not a ton change there besides Sheffield snuck ahead, Tottenham snuck ahead. And then as far as Chelsea-Leicester is concerned, that was another one where I thought, if Chelsea win, that's a huge deal for them. If they lose, that's getting dangerous territory. But they drew, so it's almost...
It's okay, but it doesn't... Yeah. I mean, but they both drew. Leicester drew as well, right?
Yeah, but for Leicester, Leicester doesn't really have anything at stake.
Yeah, they're pretty far ahead, but
they could... I
mean, they could lose the third place spot if they fall asleep here late in the season.
True.
I mean, there's a lot of games left, and...
But does Leicester really... is winning third versus fourth really a big deal for Leicester?
No, not necessarily.
So
not for Leicester.
I just don't see them falling so far out that they're not in a Champions League spot.
Yeah, that's true.
But they need to keep their foot on the gas.
For them, the saving grace was that they picked up the point against Man City, because they drew and Man City ended up losing. So now they're within striking distance of being in second place. So
yeah, which would be
that would be huge.
Kudos
for them.
I think. Yeah,
especially since there's no way anyone's catching Liverpool.
City
was just a battle right now.
It's over.
For
Liverpool's going to win. City was looking really good leading up to this week, and they fell apart versus Tottenham. So it does open the door for second place. It affects maybe prize money a little bit.
Yeah,
but anyway,
it's a long way to go from fourth to third, though. So don't get too excited about it. From fourth to ninth is almost closer.
Okay, we have to move on.
Oh, we do. We have to keep going.
Yeah, we have to move on to. I'm gonna skip over. Well, let's look at. Okay, so for our Dick's Picks and Captain's Log,
we could be here all night, man. I'm having a lot of fun. Right?
Okay, so let's move into Dick's Picks and Captain's Log, okay?
Okay. This week's Dick's Picks and this week's Captain's Log.
No, well, let's talk briefly, just because we've already mentioned the Premier League game. So we picked, I picked the Chelsea-Leicester draw, by the way.
Oh, you did? And I picked the Man U Wolves
so we
draw.
kind of canceled each other out there. So, but you did something interesting with the Australian Open.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I forgot we did picks for the Australian Open.
Who did you pick to win?
Djokovic for the men. And, of course, my boy Djokovic. I will say this, though. I was going in with a lot of confidence for him because he has been really successful this tournament.
He was looking good.
And he was looking really, really good. He did pull out a solid win. They didn't have to go into extra set.
But he needed those last two. He was down to the last wire.
But he was down 1-2. Going into the fourth set. So he had to win out both sets. And he did, and he crushed it. He did a good job. Kudos to him.
It's those nerves of steel or something like that. You just got to come up, or I don't know if it's stamina or whatever it is.
Yeah. So that was my pick. I guess
he is phenomenal.
Partially lucked out because a lot of those guys are really good. Nadal, Federer, he played Thiem.
Who's also good.
Yeah, also great.
So,
but
and then we had an American lady.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
What is her name? Kenin,
yeah. I don't know.
Pretty low seed, but she's facing a non-seed.
Well, here was the deal. She had to beat Barty.
Yeah, that's right.
In the semifinals. That happened
since the last time we talked.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's right.
That's
so
huge.
she beat Barty, who was probably my pick to win the whole thing. Barty was just like a solid overall player. But Kenin was the one that beat Goff, who had upset Osaka. And then in the quarterfinals, beat swept out Jobber. I don't know who that is. And then in the semifinals, came in and beat Barty, and then wrapped it up.
Okay, well, we got to move into this week's Dick's Picks and Captain's Log.
Alrighty, there we go. Now
Picks of the
we're
week.
talking.
So we've got 2 English Premier League games. There's not a lot going on this week.
Yeah, this will be more of just like see how we can pick again.
The Nuggets Jazz is at Denver Nuggets and Utah Jazz in the NBA.
That'll be a fun one.
It's a really good matchup of 2 good teams.
Two really good teams
in the West. I think. Yeah. And we also got Bayern Munich in the German Bundesliga in soccer football. Soccer football versus Leipzig. That's the number 1 and number 2 teams in the German league.
Oh yeah,
so it's a very important match for that.
Oh yeah, that's a big one.
I've got. Let's pull up the table here.
Yeah, I gotta pull up the table too. Then
I think so Bayern has 42 points and Leipzig has 41. So this is a huge match.
Oh yeah, keep that posted up there so I can keep looking at it.
Yeah.
And then that's
it.
No.
The English Premier League is
games,
Brighton, Watford, and Everton, Crystal Palace. Those are the games we're going to pick this week.
Yeah, they're the 2 that are coming up that we can actually talk about because next week we'll have the second half of week 26.
All right, so Richard, why don't you give us Dick's picks for? Do you want to go through all of them?
Let's start with EPL and then work our way down to the Nuggets because I think that's the most exciting game.
Give me your picks and I'll give you my picks.
Okay, Brighton, Watford. I have Brighton winning with a 2-score differential.
Wow.
I think
that's confidence right there.
Well, they're at home. They're playing against Watford. I think that this is going to be an interesting thing. That's all a heart pick. I do all my biggest picks are just like something's going to happen. I mean, this past week we had all those draws, so anything can happen, right? Everton, Crystal Palace. I have Everton by 1. Everton at home against Crystal Palace.
So you're going home teams.
I think that those are 2 safe bets.
All right, you're going to laugh at me for my picks here.
Oh, no.
But I have a draw for Brighton, Watford.
It's not laughable. I think that's doable.
Okay, and I have a draw for Everton.
Okay, wait a minute.
and this is not
wait a minute here.
This is not just me saying I don't know who to pick or I'm not willing to pick one. This is what the sheet says.
Yeah?
This is what
the statistics are telling you.
Yep, this is what my computer model is telling me.
Okay, I can.
It's putting these teams even with the home advantage adjustment. So I can't pick between them. I have no means by which to pick one over the other.
I could see one of the 2 drawing, but I don't know that both will.
Yeah, I mean that's statistically unlikely. Isn't it?
But if the numbers say it, the numbers say it.
Dude, what if they both draw?
That'd be wild. You want to hear something even more wild?
All right.
For the Bayern Munich, Leipzig. I'm trying to say it in a German accent, but it's never going to happen. I picked a draw for that game.
No way.
Yeah, Bayern at home I think is going to do a little bit of a stumble.
I was almost going to pick a draw.
Oh, well. So what did you pick?
I picked a Bayern to win by 1.
Okay, that's a safer bet, I'd say, but I think that
to show you what this is what 538 says.
Yeah. I think they hold on. I mean, they're just
66%.
Ooh, wow. Yeah. I think they hold on. I think Leipzig is going to stun us just like Tottenham stunned me last week.
Could. I mean, they could win outright. Who knows? They're doing really well this year.
Yeah.
And they're in the Champions League. By the way, speaking of Tottenham, that's the Champions League round of 16 match.
Oh, is it?
Or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
It's going to be Leipzig-Tottenham.
It's going to be a tough match.
That's a good lower tier match. You know, when you're talking Champions League.
Oh yeah, when you're talking Champions League, at least you don't have to play Barca or Real Madrid or something like that.
Yeah.
And then coming into it, I'm gonna let you tell me what you picked.
Yeah, let me
for the Nuggets Jazz.
Nuggets Jazz. I'm picking Jazz. Utah Jazz by 5 at home.
Jazz by 5. You know they're in a 4-game losing streak right now.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. And that's why I'm going to also drop mine too then. I think I'm also going to take Jazz because they need to snap that losing streak. And I'm going to pick Jazz at home by 8.
Wow.
Yeah. So I was looking at the numbers. They only just recently played too. Like a couple of days ago it looks like. The Jazz and the Nuggets.
Oh, okay. I didn't see that.
And it looked like the Nuggets won that game by I think 8.
Let me look it up.
So that informed my decision. We're gonna have to have a little bit of redemption here.
Oh yeah, no, they won by
Jazz.
6.
They won by 6.
But
so
it was
Jazz,
at Denver.
Oh, it was at Denver. So the Jazz are going to come back here, bring it home, and have a little redemption. I think.
Yeah,
Plus, they got to snap that 4-game losing streak.
Yeah, the Nuggets have a better record slightly, but they're sitting right next to each other in the in the standings.
Yep.
So, all right. Well, that concludes Dick's picks and Captain's log for this week.
Bum, ba-dum, bum, bum, bum.
And that concludes this week in sports, and we're going to move to our last segment, which is going to be the market review of the week.
Oh, yeah, that's always a good one.
Not a lot to talk about, I don't think. I mean, there's not a ton of stories out there.
I think there's a bit to talk about as far as the market's concerned, at least maybe not on a weekly basis, but certainly on a daily, on the day.
The day was pretty good.
Yeah.
I'm going to go over, so let's just say S&P 500 is basically even on the week. It's down 0.2%.
From last week,
From
Monday.
last week, yeah, the end of last week to the end of today. The Dow is up 0.3% in the last week, and NASDAQ is up almost a full percent.
Wow.
0.9% in the last week, so it's cranking.
Wow.
Wow. So what are the big stories that you're talking about?
Me?
Yeah.
As far as market review is concerned?
Well, for the week, you said that we had a really good day. I mean,
yeah, dude, today was incredible. Like the market was up. I mean, must have been like 2% or something like that. It was weird.
yeah, it was a comeback day.
Yeah.
Last week was pretty brutal.
Was it everybody settling into coronavirus? Kind of just hit the end of the news week, and then they said, "Hey, it's not as big a deal as we thought."
I think so. I mean, I don't know. Are the Iowa Caucuses going to play a role? Like if one candidate comes out as a favorite versus the other, it might change the people's understanding of what's going to happen. I don't know.
I thought that we were going to see a soft day today because they say something like 14 million Americans or 14 million people worldwide, I don't know, skip the Monday of Super Bowl. So it must be Americans. They skip the Monday after Super Bowl. They call in sick.
That makes sense.
Yeah, that's what I was doing today.
But that's not going to put a damp on the economy.
Dude, 14 million Americans not at work? Are you kidding me?
Yeah,
that's
but
a lot of people.
But if it's expected. You know what I mean?
Oh,
See, the stock
okay.
market reacts to things that are not expected.
Not expected. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Good point.
So that's why I'm thinking maybe the Iowa caucuses, if something slightly unexpected happens, then it might impact the market for tomorrow.
Yeah. So we might see that in the morning.
Because like if Biden versus if people are more expecting Sanders or Biden, and the opposite happens, then that changes the outcome of who's going to be the next president.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the statistical probability of who's going to be the next president.
Oh yeah, for sure.
That's a huge. I don't know. I mean, the only reason the Iowa caucuses are important is because they're first, and it's going to make headlines, so it might change some of the results down the road.
Yeah.
And the delegates in themselves, not that many. It's not going to change much.
I did hear that this is in other market news that oil was down today, and that was as a result of China cutting back its import by a lot. And I have a feeling it has a lot to do with them restricting travel. It has a lot to do with them just trying to contain this coronavirus outbreak. And so I heard that OPEC also determined to cut supply.
So
is cutting by 1 million barrels a day or something like that.
We're still seeing some of those effects of the coronavirus trickling through, but maybe they're mostly trickled through now.
Yeah. So oil's a little lower than typical, but I mean, those are the kinds of things you expect to rebound. Alrighty, so
all right, we got to get to Richard's hot take and Kurt's big pick of the week as far as a stock is concerned.
Yeah, stock. Okay, so my
We're
pick...
switching this, by the way. I think we did 3 last week. We're going to do 1 each.
Yeah.
Every week from now on.
Yeah. I don't think anyone needs that much to absorb.
Yeah.
I'm going to stay big picture like I did last week. I'm going to go really high level.
Wait, what did you pick last week?
Last week I had...
I want to see how it did.
Last week I had my...
Oh, okay. You had 3. Yeah, so you had Space.
I had SPCE, who's up
oh my
like
goodness.
6% today or something like that.
No, they're up 9% today, boy.
Oh, are they? 9%?
Or 8.5%.
I'll see you in Hollywood, boys. That's my first pick. Second pick was...
covered.
Second pick was...
I forgot what you picked, man.
Yeah, I can't remember right now. Let's just do my one pick from this week. But that was my big one. Space there. SPCE. Anyway, my big pick this week is Google, Alphabet Inc. So this is the reason why. They had their
earnings
report. Yes, thank you. I could not remember the word for it. They had their earnings call today. Ended up missing falling short by a decent bit
And so
on
you say buy?
revenues, and so they fell off like 4%, and they're
did
down,
drop.
and they're down a lot after hours right now, like probably about 4%, something
Yeah.
like that. Even though they had a strong day, after hours they suffered, and it's gonna, if you go up 3% but drop 4%, the net is even worse than having it drop by 1%. Anyway, I say buy. Because this is a market reaction to something that
They're gonna
they
rebound?
weren't necessarily expecting, and it's Google. I mean, come on, this is a
So-
company that's going to be tried and true for years.
So
to
you
come.
have $1,400 sitting around in the bank?
No, this is. Oh, I was talking to you about this earlier. What you can do nowadays is you can get on an app, and they will sometimes let you buy partial shares. I know the app that I use for trading is working on getting that involved into their application, and it's just
So it allows you to buy, like, if one share is worth $1,400, maybe you can buy like a
You can
tenth
buy
of
a
a share
fractional
or
share,
or
yeah.
a hundredth of a share.
Yeah, you
maybe.
can buy with you can say I want to put this amount of money into
that.
this thing. So then you can keep.
Yeah.
You don't have to be super invested in it. But yeah, I'd say buy on Google.
Okay, all right. Well, I don't know. So last week I said what? Chegg was one
check
of them.
Square Cash. That was one of yours.
Yeah,
dude.
Square
Square
did
Cash
well.
had a day.
So Chegg was up a little bit today. They're down on the week, so I didn't really make a good pick on Chegg. But yes, Square was roaring, wasn't it?
Dude, Square Cash had a day.
Up 7% today.
7%. Wow.
In this bad week, they were up 11%. Wow. That was a
Wow.
bad week for the market.
Yeah.
A pretty bad week.
Dude, look out for our picks on the market, because
Okay.
those are way better than our sports
All right,
picks,
so
obviously.
my hot take, my big pick of the day is going to be CVM, or I think it's, so CellSci, CELSCI Corp. It's a biotech company. They have been killing it lately. And I know I just told you before we started, don't put money on something that's been exploding because it's already exploded. But, dude, they have not finished exploding according to my thoughts.
Okay. Your heart
And
is telling you.
aspirations.
You're going to will this thing to go way higher than what it is.
They're up 63% in the last month.
Okay,
That
cool.
just tells you right there. They were up 10% today. In the last year, they're up 390%. So I mean,
Wow.
they're just exploding. They're in one of these weird cycle things, so they're just, I don't know what's going on, but it's a biotech company, something's happening, and they're exploding, and get it while you can over the next week.
It's like, they're hotcakes. Like, they're hotcakes. Get them while they're hot.
Yeah, exactly. So that's about it for the market review, right? I mean, that's our big picks right there.
Yeah. Don't sleep on Google. Don't sleep on CellSci.
CVM, yeah. Other than that, that's basically it. I mean, I know we had the Super Bowl. Did we hit everything we wanted to?
I think we hit exactly what we wanted to.
Maybe we didn't get to talk about the Super Bowl as much as we wanted.
I think we did a hefty amount of talking about the Super Bowl.
All right.
I think if you got to watch that game, you were excited for 90% of that game and got right up to the end and you enjoyed yourself. I think it was a fun Super Bowl, and it was one for the books.
All right, so we're kind of consensus picking Biden's going to win the caucuses, just as a
think
review
so.
of our picks.
Not Biden.
I'm sorry, Sanders. We're pretty much, he's going to narrowly win,
Narrowly edge out Biden, and
but definitely will win.
Yeah.
But that's, who knows, right?
Yeah.
Coronavirus, we think we're trailing down. We think we're nearing the end. We got Premier League picks on Brighton, Watford, Everton, Crystal Palace. Did we both say the Jazz are going to win?
I think so.
Both say the Jazz are going to win.
Yeah.
We got Bayern, Leipzig, and then our picks are Google and CVM.
Yeah. Some good picks this week. I think not a lot going on, but it'll be fun to see what happens.
All right. Well, that about wraps it up. Is there anything else you want to add, Richard?
No, I don't think so, man. We hit everything right on the head. Just
All
like
right.
we wanted to.
Well, good, because we're running out of time. And so basically with that, guys, like, comment, subscribe. Let us know your thoughts. Also, you guys should make your own picks and comment them down below. We'll see how they compare to ours. We'll see next week. We'll talk about if anyone make any picks. We'll see how our picks did against reality. And with that, this has been Short End of the Pick with Richard and Kurt. We'll see you guys next time. Until then.